It is time for another all-time San Francisco 49ers Legends Draft. 3 teams, 22 starters. Who drafts the best all-time 49ers squad on today's Locked On 49ers?
You are Locked On 49ers, your daily San Francisco 49ers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On 49ers. Brian Peacock and Eric Crocker with you as always on a very special Winky Wednesday episode. And it is extra special, guys, because we're doing another all-time 49ers draft. And a lot has changed in the 5 years or so since we did this last. And so I'm fascinated to see how this goes. Different strategy, picking all-time great San Francisco 49ers. At least 22 rounds. We'll see if this changes as we go. But we're going to keep track. Draft teams here. 3 teams snake draft. We've got Team Peacock, Team Crocker, and Team Wink over the course of the next 3 or so Winky Wednesday episodes, starting with part 1 today, guys. And I'm pumped for this. And there was a great reaction last time we did this. And so we're going to have to let the listeners vote on who drafts the second and third best squad after my clearly better team that I'm about to take of all-time 49ers. Oh, by the way,
Nicholas Winkler, come on down.
I love it's a great it's sort of like every World Cup you do the all-time 49ers draft here in the summertime in June and July as we get ready for training camp. So Croc, Wink, I'm pumped for this one once again.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned the World Cup. I mean, what a great distraction right now. While not a whole lot going on in the world of, NFL 49er football. It's like, oh, I got all this going on. Well, we're going to give you another distraction now. And this is fun because it's not always the numbers, right? Like some guys just show up better, in your hearts and in your mind's eye. You're looking back, you're like, okay, yeah, maybe that guy didn't put up statistically the best numbers, but he was one of my favorite 49ers. So he's going to be on my team.
It's a vibe thing because nostalgia is a huge part of this, right, Croc? And even if a guy's only played 1 year, like Croc probably with the number 1 overall pick is going to take Deion Sanders over, Joe Montana because that's Croc's guy. And I think we gave him a lot of crap, if I remember a few years ago when we did this last time, because of how high he took Deion. And look, you get the player in their prime. So Deion was amazing in his prime with the San Francisco 49ers for that 1 year. But nostalgia-wise, some of the folks that vote on our team might feel a little different towards Deion Sanders. So that's the fascinating part. It's a lot of fun.
The Deion Sanders part is just because not only was he in his prime, but the best year of his career was with the 49ers, and it contributed to a Super Bowl. So it's hard to not say that he is great because of what he did when he had that uniform on.
Yeah, so those are the kind of arguments we're going to get into. It's going to be so much fun. And we're going to argue about it here. The listeners are going to argue about the picks and the teams in the order that we draft these guys in. What's going to be the draft order? Well, let's get that figured out right now because we've got a little Peacock, Winkler, Crocker wheel of names here. And so this is going to decide our draft order. Let's fire this thing up and find out who's going first in the all-time 49ers draft here in 2026. And it's looking like
oh yeah,
Wink gets the number 1 pick. Okay, Winkler's going first. Now it's between Peacock and Croc. We'll see who goes second, who goes third. I don't think there's a wrong place to draft here. No. All right, I'm going third. I'm going to get the turn. I'm going to get the first pick in round 2 here in our snake draft. So Wink,
which I think is actually the best. Yeah. I think that's the best spot to be in.
Yeah.
The turn? You think the third pick is the best?
To start, like for sure, to start this off, I'd say for the first 2 rounds, I think that's the best spot to be in.
Okay, interesting. Well, let's pull up the draft board here. I got to fix it because we're going Wink 1. Okay. Team Wink.
I'm not upset picking 1. I'll pick anywhere. You give so many greats. It's just picking 6. It diminishes a little bit when it comes back around, but I'll be all right.
I mean, but then you're the first one to get 3 because you're going to get 2 in a row. So then you start looking pretty strong there, and I'll be waiting for the 9th pick of the draft. So it goes both ways, man. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Wrong. Let's bring the draft board up on the screen and get this thing going. Talk me through the number 1 pick in the draft now, Winkler.
It's not a hard decision to make. I mean, you're not just talking about the best 49er of all time with this first pick. You're not just talking about the best wide receiver of all time. You're talking about the best football player
The
of
goat
all
of goats.
time. The goat of goats, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who put up ridiculous numbers into his 40s. Yeah, it wasn't with the 49ers, but this guy, I mean, Jerry Rice is the man, the myth, the legend. If there's one person on your team, and I think if any draft, I think if everybody was like, okay, I can pick an all-time NFL team, Jerry Rice has got to go number one.
He was the number one on my board as well. Croc, would you have taken Jerry Rice if you had the number one pick in the draft, or would you have taken the guy that you're about to take right here?
If Jerry Rice were not taken by Nicholas Winkler, I would have taken Jerry Rice.
Well, now that means who's number two on Croc's big board, because we got Jerry Rice, number one overall, the unanimous number one on our big boards. Croc, are you going to reach like Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch did in this year's draft?
Well, actually, no. And what I'm going to do a better job of is playing off of the draft, right? I had several guys. I had a few. I say several. There were a few guys I would have liked right here. I knew I didn't have to reach for one guy or another. And if one guy was gone, then I knew I was going to play off of that. And with me playing off of that and going off of what Nick chose first, it's a no-brainer. It has to be Terrell Owens for me. So Terrell Owens.
Wow.
He's got to go right now. The 49ers have had two of the top three of the greatest receivers ever.
True.
For me to pass up on one of those guys right here, that would be bad. That would be bad. So I had to take T.O. Would have liked to see him win championships like some of these other all-time greats I'm pretty sure we're going to get to. But when you just talk about building out a team, I had no other choice but to take Terrell Owens here, because I think after T.O., there is a drop-off at the receiver position.
That's fascinating, because now you're playing the draft board, thinking about who might get back to you, what you can draft, what you need to take, and wide receiver is a position that could start to get thin. As many great wide receivers as there are, because you need a couple, right? When you start building a football team, so that's a fascinating one. Croc playing the strategy here, going Terrell Owens. We got wide receiver off the board in round one to start the all-time 49ers draft here. I love it.
Hey, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, take notes.
Yeah, they would love this so far. They're all about
You know who they would have taken? They would have been like, oh, we got to take Deion Sanders right here. I
thought you were going to take
Deion. You don't have to take Deion yet. You know, and they'll be like, oh, but that's our guy. And it's like, you can't think like that. You got to play the draft game.
Guys, they're going D lineman first round. Come on. We know the 49ers.
Did John Lynch go to college with any of these guys? Have we got any Stanford guys here?
Nice.
Okay. There's only one pick I can make here, and it is the man with all of the rings, and that is quarterback Joe Montana.
Yeah. That's again, easy choice there.
It would be blasphemous if he was not a first round pick in this draft, and not the first quarterback selected as good as Brock Purdy, who was not on our draft board last time we did this. In fact, do you guys remember that I was the one that waited? Yes. And I didn't get Joe Montana or Steve Young, and I waited on quarterback and ended up with John Brody, I believe, and then I took a swing on, I believe it was rookie Trey Lance, the last pick in the draft, because you do get these players at their prime. Turns out he didn't have a prime.
Swing and a miss.
So that strategy did not work out for me, and I was a little bit behind at the quarterback position, even though John Brody, quite an underrated player, and I'm fascinated to see where you guys have the old time players that we didn't get a chance to see, growing up. With as far as all-time great San Francisco 49ers players. But I'm here at the turn, guys, and that is the end of round one. We'll come back with rounds 2 and 3 next in the Locked On 49ers all-time Legends draft. I'm going to give myself a couple minutes here to think about how I'm going to start round 2, because it's going to be a while before I get another chance to make a pick, and we'll get to that next. Today's episode of Locked On 49ers is brought to you by Square, the business platform helping sellers become neighborhood favorites. Whether you're preparing for a busy season or managing everyday demand, Square helps keep your business moving with everything from payments and online orders to inventory, staff management, and more, all in one place so business owners can spend less time managing tools and more time focusing on their customers. Square helps simplify the everyday work behind running a business while giving owners the tools they need to keep growing. And it's something you notice when you're supporting your local businesses that you love. There's an awesome spot down the street. And I love how seamless it is with Square. Get some of the best fish and chips in the Bay Area at Hookfish. And it's nice to have that just right down the road. My son loves himself some. My son, by the way, side note, I'm worried he's going to turn into too much of a fancy boy because he's got like some world-class stuff that he eats. And I don't want him to turn his nose up at simpler stuff that he has a chance to eat sometimes. Cause I see it sometimes with pizza because we always eat the best pizza. And so he gets like standard pizza and he's like, you know what? This isn't as good. So anyway, you feel it when you go to a business that has Square and even as a customer, because the folks running the business have a lot less to worry about and they can focus on you, the customer. And right now, listeners can get up to $200 off Square hardware when you sign up at square.com/go/LockedOnNFL. That's Square, SQUARE.com/GO/LockedOnNFL. Get started with Square and build a setup that works the way you do. All right, guys, here we go. We are on to round 2 of the all-time San Francisco 49ers draft, and Croc shocked the world in round 1, going wide receiver Terrell Owens between Wink, starting it off with the GOAT Jerry Rice, and Joe Montana is my selection in round 1. And I'm going sentimental. I'm going with the team that won all the championships, and I'm actually going to the defensive backfield with Ronnie Lott with my second-round selection in the all-time 49ers draft, guys. And then there was at one point in time where I actually wore the number 42 as a dual offensive and defensive running back and defensive back. And I chose the number 42 because of my guy, Ronnie Lott. So that is my selection here. And it's going to be a while before I get to pick again.
Well, I would say I love that pick for you. I think most 49er fans watching right now would say, hey, we're really liking the way Brian Peacock is going in the first 2 rounds and the way the board has kind of failed for you. You're doing a great job of playing the draft game.
I love it. So we'll see who Croc reaches for with the next pick, the second pick in round 2. Croc. No, I mean, T.O. is somebody, I think possibly because Jerry Rice was already a San Francisco 49er, right? But Terrell Owens is going to be an interesting part of the conversation of this episode because I think as awesome as he is and as weird as his career went, he's probably one of the more underrated players of all time.
Yeah. I mean, again, you say underrated, but he is considered either 2 or 3 receiver all time. Out of all the receivers that have played the game, he is viewed at a very high level, and he has the stats and production to back it in. I mean, in Jerry Rice's going away game, Terrell Owens broke the record with 20 catches in the football game.
He's just such a polarizing guy that I think it kind of turned a lot of people off, a lot of fans off to who he became, especially when you go to the Cowboys, right? As a 49er fan, like that's the Cardinals' sin to go do something like that. So I can understand why some people might not love it. I love it. I think it was a great choice by you.
All right, Croc, your second round pick. How do you feel about how this fell? Because just to let you know, I would have still taken quarterback Ronnie Lott with my 2 picks. So depending on who you get here, would you have played this differently knowing that Terrell Owens was going to get back to you in the second round, Croc?
No, because the player that I'm going to get right now, I figured I would have been able to get him or one other guy in the first round, which he was taken. So, I mean, this is a no-brainer for me. It's Steve Young. So I think whether I got Steve Young in the first round or I got Steve Young in the second round, I knew I would potentially have an opportunity to get some combination of Terrell Owens and Steve Young.
I do want to say the next player that I considered the most instead of Ronnie Lott was Steve Young, just to completely screw you guys and go quarterback.
Oh, it was going to that would have screwed me. Then I would have said I'm not playing this draft game very well.
But I would have hurt myself while hurting my opponents in this as well, and I didn't want to go there, so I played it straight and I went with Ronnie Lott. So Team Peacock's got Montana Lott to start. Team Crocker's got Owens and Young to start, and Team Winkler now gets 2 in a row at the turn in round 2. And in round 3, who joins Jerry Rice on Team Wink?
I mean, for me, it's an easy one because I'm gonna pick with my heart here, but not only with my heart, with my eyeballs, right? We all watch the 49ers. We've all watched every single game. We know who the best middle linebacker is in 49er history. It's a guy that one of 2 jerseys that I own. The other one was just taken by Crocker and Steve Young. Patrick Willis, to me, is a guy that, I mean, when he's on the football field, he's making plays. He's doing everything you need to do. He was the heart and soul of that 49er team. Retired too young, but you can understand why he did it. Made a lot of money, got out before his body, started to betray him. So for me, Patrick Willis is a guy I want on my football team, even if I got to take him a little bit earlier than he might normally have fallen.
Love it. And I know you're a big Patrick Willis guy, and I had a feeling he would end up on Team Winkler at some point, and he does so with the 3rd pick in round 2, and now you have the 1st pick in round 3. Wait.
And this guy wasn't, I think, much in our last draft, or maybe he was a little bit later, but based on what he's done with the 49ers here recently, he's one of the best football players in the NFL still. He has one of the greatest seasons in NFL history at the running back position. This is a guy that not only is a running back, he's a wide receiver. He's whatever you want him to be. Of course, I'm talking about Christian McCaffrey. I want him on my football team. When he was coming out of Stanford, I thought, oh, wow, I would love to get him as a 49ers. 49ers weren't drafted that high. I thought it would never happen. So when he got traded to the 49ers, it was like a dream come true. This guy's amazing, and I'm stoked to have him on my team.
I was interested to see when the more modern era San Francisco 49ers would go off the board. Again, a player that wasn't on the 49ers the last time we did this draft. And so fascinating. Round 3, Christian McCaffrey, the weapon off the board. Wink doesn't have a quarterback, but he's got plenty of weapons for whoever his passer is to throw to in that offense on Team Winkler. Croc,
once the top 2 go, you just sit back and wait, man.
Right.
You guys took them, so let's load up elsewhere.
It's the way this goes. Yeah. Croc, you are on the board now with the 2nd pick in round 2.
Yeah, so I love the Christian McCaffrey pick, and I'm going, in a slightly different direction, but same position. I'm going Frank Gore at the running back spot. And when you started talking, I was like, is he going with Frank Gore? Like, this is who I want to take right here. I'm like, oh no, it sounds like it might be Trent Williams. And then I'm like, oh, it's not Trent Williams. Oh, wait, versatile offense. Okay, Christian McCaffrey, cool. That means I get Frankie Gore, who was just Mr. Reliable. Played a ton of football games, retired the 3rd most rushing yards in NFL history. I feel like, with a couple of these weapons, right? Terrell Owens, top 3 statistical receiver, and now top 3 statistical running back to go along with the former MVP quarterback. I'm kind of liking my first 3 picks.
You know how I feel about running backs and even legendary running backs. I'm going to wait on that position here. In
3rd round is the round you take a running back.
That's right. This is the running back round. Dang. I'm gonna push it. And you know what I'm gonna do? I got the quarterback. I am gonna build the heck out of my defense with both of my selections here. And this pick is Hall of Fame. Whoops, I pressed the wrong button. I don't think anybody else noticed that, but on my screen just went crazy. I am going with Hall of Fame defensive tackle Bryant Young in round 3. And to start round 4, you want to talk about rings? How about edge rusher Charles Haley?
Solid. Wow.
And I'm not worried about I'm going to put up points. I got the greatest quarterback of all time, possibly. And I've got 3 stupid good defenders at every level now to help just dominate the no quarterback Team Winkler and the Team Crocker right now. This is so fun because I just took a peek at my big board and some of the names I had written down. There are so many good players still left, man. This is fascinating here. I thought I was going to be hurting once we got to around that 3-4 turn because all the guys that you guys were going to take. But I mean, this is so fun because we're going to be drafting amazing football players into part 3 of this series, guys. So I'm going Bryant Young, Charles Haley at the round 3-4 turn.
I feel like you took a peek at my big board because Bryant Young and Charles Haley, they were next up, and I actually were considering, okay, should I take one of those guys instead of Frank Gore? But I felt like after he took CMC, I mean, you got Perry, was it Joe Perry? I mean, there's a drop off at the running back position to kind of at least make my squad look good. So I said, all right, let's take Frank Gore now, and I'll have Haley or Young coming back around. And I am not. So that hurt.
I'm playing my draft board pretty strictly right now. Croc's playing the draft game a little bit more. Wink, are you going more draft board? You playing the game looking at this? Are you looking at the depth of positions?
I'm picking with my heart, baby. I'm looking back. I'm looking at this list and I'm thinking, who are my favorite 49ers? Who do I want on my all-time 49er team? I don't care who you guys are taking. I'm going to take my guys. Love it.
All right, Croc, you are on the clock here in round 4. Who's going to join Terrell Owens, Steve Young, and Frank Gore?
Well, I guess I'm staying on the opposite side, and I just mentioned this guy a couple minutes ago, but dude, I'm going with Trent Williams. And not only is he the greatest offensive lineman in 49ers history, he's kind of carving out a terrific career for himself, and will definitely be a first-time Hall of Famer, or he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer, excuse me. So yeah, Trent Williams at my left tackle, got to protect. If we're going to build this offense out, we're going to do it right.
Yeah, and even though Trent Williams played so many years in Washington before San Francisco, his peak as a 49er is still maybe his best peak too. And he's played at such a high level as a San Francisco 49er as well. And a player that I don't remember if he showed up in our I don't think he would have been on our draft last time either. So we've got multiple players that are in this draft already in the first 4 rounds that weren't even considered the last time we did an all-time draft.
Yeah, I had Trent Williams lined up. I was ready, locked and loaded here in round 4 to take him. So a great pick there. I mean, you can't do more for your team better than protect your quarterback. I don't even have a quarterback, so I'm not trying to protect anybody right now. So I'm going to move forward.
I'm going all defense, and Croc is going all offense too. So these teams are already building an identity here. Let's finish round 4 with you, Wink. Then we'll come back and do rounds 5 and 6 next. Who's the third pick of round 4?
I mean, I hate to stay so current, but when you look at important pieces on a football team, right? Number 1 is quarterback. Well, I don't have one of those, and I can wait a little bit. Well, who's the second highest paid guy on a football team? It's that edge rusher, right? It's that guy who's going to go get the quarterback. And the 49ers had a guy who, when he's healthy, is one of the best players in all of football, put up one of the most dominant seasons ever when he got Defensive Player of the Year. Of course, I'm talking about Nick Bosa. Put him on my team, go get those quarterbacks. Even when he's not sacking the quarterback, the pressures and the way he changes what an offense has to do is why Nick Bosa, to me, is a top 49er of all time.
Okay. Team Wink taking a little bit of more a modern turn there. So here we go. We're 4 rounds in. How will we conclude part 1 of the Locked On 49ers all-time draft? Next. This episode of Locked On 49ers brought to you by Odoo. Running a business shouldn't feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of systems that were never designed to work together. One app for accounting, another for inventory, another for sales, and somehow none of them talk to each other at all. And that's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together in one powerful platform. From sales and accounting to inventory and marketing, everything works in one place, helping your team move faster, stay organized, stay informed, and focus on growing your business instead of managing software. The best organizations know that success isn't just about talent. It's about having everyone working toward the same goal. And that's true in sports, just like it's true in business. And it's absolutely true in the NFL. And you think about those Bill Walsh dynasty San Francisco 49ers and how it wasn't just because you had the best players. You drafted a 3rd-round quarterback. But why did it work? Because he fit the system and he could get the ball out to all of the GOATs and all of the future GOATs and all of the players that were playmakers on that offense. And great organizations win because operations matter. And that's why you should get Odoo. So try it for free at odoo.com/lockedon. That's Odoo, ODOO.com/lockedon. Okay, Wink, we are on to round 5 of the all-time Locked On 49ers draft. And Jerry Rice, Patrick Willis, Christian McCaffrey, and Nick Bosa are on Team Winkler through the first 4 rounds. How do you start round 5 here at the turn?
Well, we got one guy over here drafting all offensive players, another guy going almost all defense. I'm going every other here, right? Offense, defense, offense, defense. Time to get another offensive weapon for my quarterback to be named later. I'm talking about a guy who not only has put up one of the best seasons in NFL history, but a guy who leads in the locker room, and he does so much more than what you see in the stat line, because not only is he the best blocking tight end in the NFL, he's also put up one of the best seasons ever by a tight end. Of course, I'm talking about George Kittle. I mean, this is a guy who, again, numbers are great. Numbers look fantastic, but this guy's so much more than numbers, and he's on my football team. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, that's got some try hard on that Team Winkler roster right now. And again, staying with the current group of players, 3 current San Francisco 49ers on Team Wink in 5 picks. Jerry Rice, Patrick Willis, we got Christian McCaffrey, Nick Bosa, and George Kittle, all current Niners back to back there in rounds 3 through 5. That brings us to Team Croc in round 5.
Yeah, so I'm looking at you guys and what you guys are doing. I'm actually going to go to the defensive side of the ball for the first time. Woo! And I, too, am going to stay current. Drafting at the linebacker position, all-pro Fred. Let's go, Fred Warner.
Love it.
I got to be honest, those last 2 picks hurt a little bit. I was considering to draft one, possibly both of George Kittle and Fred Warner coming up because those guys are all-time San Francisco 49ers. And do start to deserve to be talked about in this area of all-time greats. So a lot of we got 5 current San Francisco 49ers already drafted here in 5 rounds between all of these teams. So fascinating stuff. Where are we? Round 5 for me here. And I get to have 2 picks in a row. And like I mentioned before, there's so many great football players here. And in fact, yeah, Fred Warner, George Kittle back-to-back on my big board there. There is another couple of names, though, that are in consideration for me in this area. And I think one of them, you know what? Okay, I'm going to go this way with it. I am going to go to the offensive side of the ball. And I am going to go to a player that, like Christian McCaffrey, can run and catch the football, and a player that was the original 1,000-yard rusher, 1,000-yard receiver, and that is none other than Roger Craig. I'm going to add him to the offense, and I've got a really dynastic 80s flair to my roster right now. In fact, 4 out of 5 we're part of those late 80s Super Bowl teams. But I was thinking about waiting more on running back, and there's some legendary guys that even predated the 80s. That we could go at running back, but I needed someone who could catch the football as well, and Roger Craig's dual threat ability, and again, the nostalgia of Roger Craig and those teams that I fell in love with. I had to go there, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take Croc's guy and go Deion Sanders.
No!
I almost took him in round 5. I almost took him.
No.
Because I got to cover Terrell Owens. I got to cover Jerry Rice. And one of the few guys in history that can do that is Deion Sanders, who is now on Team Peacock in round 6.
Oh, that's rough. I mean, that was 100%.
I know you were going to take him next, Croc. I know he was.
Oh, yeah, it was coming. Oh,
and if you took Deion in the last round, I would have ended up with Fred Warner probably on my team too. So it was either Fred or Deion for you and me with those 2 picks.
I think I actually would have liked. I liked Deion over Fred. I think I might have liked Deion over Fred Warner.
Wow, really? Okay.
But I just figured
we could work out trades. Can we do trades? I mean, I don't see why we shouldn't be able to do trades.
This isn't
do you want to make a trade? Can we make a trade? Let's make a trade.
Well, what else are you going to add to the mix, Croc?
Oh, I'm not. It's just a player for a player.
That's interesting, though. Let me think about this. Deion for Fred Warner.
Deion for Fred Warner.
Straight up.
I guess I would do that. Let's have the first ever trade in all time
49er
draft history.
or something. You need to make it look so we remember that it was a trade.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. We gotta do. Let's put a little asterisk here. We're gonna do asterisk, and I don't even know what to do here. Yeah, we're gonna do asterisk.
Just swap them. Yeah.
We're gonna trade Fred Warner for Deion Sanders. So, and I'm gonna put a little note here that this means trade. There we go. Okay.
Bam.
So we'll clean that up. I don't know, but
if there's another trade later, we got to use a different little symbol.
That's why I guess this should be one asterisk because it's the first trade. So if there's
there we go.
Yeah, so we'll do that.
First ever trade.
Ever trade in
I think you should put Deion in my spot, one in your spot, but then put the trade asterisk next to it.
No, because
we know that they were traded to those teams.
No, we can't change the draft picks were the draft picks, so we have to denote it because Fred Warner was taken in the 5th round.
You could put a little 5 by Warner, a little 6 by Deion.
We'll do it later when we put all these names onto a depth chart, and then that way we'll have we'll be able to see like where the positions actually are. I think it's gonna be our last round here, round 6. We'll finish this up, and then it's gonna be a multi-part series here of our all-time draft as it was last time, and it's gonna last until almost training camp, in fact, because we've got a few weeks here. About a month exactly, in fact, until training camp. We're recording this on June 24th. A couple vacations happening with us as well in the meantime for programming's sake. But we're going to have all this done before those vacations happen and have those next 3 Winky Wednesdays. Is going to be all-time drafts here. Let's finish up round 6. Okay, Team Peacock after 6 rounds. Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott, Bryant Young, Charles Haley, Roger Craig, and then the trade of Deion Sanders for Fred Warner. That means Team Croc has Terrell Owens, Steve Young, Frank Gore, Trent Williams, and now Deion Sanders after that trade. And who's going to be added to that group, Croc?
Joe Staley. So I'm taking the next best offensive lineman in 49er history. There's a historical one that I thought of taking at this spot right now, but I'm going to go with, Joe Staley. So now I got bookend tackles.
So Joe Staley's going to play a little right tackle, just like he did as a rookie.
Yeah. Yep.
I like it. All right, Wink, finish up round 6 of the all-time draft here. Again, Team Crocker, Owens, Young, Gore, Trent Williams, Deion Sanders post-trade, and Joe Staley. So bookend tackles now. The only 2 offensive linemen selected, Trent Williams and Joe Staley so far. Team Wink now. Jerry Rice in round 1. You got Patrick Willis in round 2. Christian McCaffrey, Nick Bosa, and George Kittle. And round 6 pick will be?
I mean, I think I got to stick with what's working for me, and it's time to go back on the defensive side, but it's a guy that could also play the offensive side. A guy you tried to sneak by us last time, but after you snuck him by us, I think me and a lot of the listeners did some research on Mr. Leo Namalini because, I mean, talk about a stud. The guy played offense and defense. He was part of the original 49ers, like considered by most to be one of the top 5, if not top 10 49ers of all time. So give me Mr. Namalini, and we'll call it a day.
A great pick, Wink. I thought I was going to be able to get him a little bit later. The first great all-time San Francisco 49er in Leo Namalini. Love it.
I was trying to go Staley, but Croc was thinking there. Well played.
Yep, Staley was in consideration for me as well at those spots, and I almost went Staley instead of Roger Craig, and but I went Roger instead in that area. I love this, man. I love where we're going with these teams. I think we've done a good job of nailing the guys that belong at the top. There's still some really good ones, though, that are going to be available for us here in round 7 and beyond of the Locked On 49ers all-time draft. Team Winkler, Jerry Rice, Patrick Willis, Christian McCaffrey, Nick Bosa, George Kittle, Leo Namalini so far. Team Crocker, Terrell Owens, Steve Young, Frank Gore, Trent Williams, Deion Sanders, post-trade, and Joe Staley. I love that we did a trade in this thing, but it's going to trip me up when I read this. And then Team Peacock through 6 rounds is Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott, Bryant Young, Charles Haley, Roger Craig, and not Deion Sanders. It's Fred Warner because I traded Deion Sanders for Fred.
You got to highlight them or something.
Woo, okay.
Hey, Wink, I will say, I just mentioned, I said Joe Staley. I took him. I was thinking of a historical player. It was Leo Namalini. So
there you go.
Yeah.
We're right there. You were thinking Joe Staley. I was thinking Leo Nomalini, and I think either way, they would have been taken in one of those two spots.
Yeah, and for me, I needed to go with all my current players. I needed to go back as far as I possibly could.
Yeah.
With the 49ers to kind of balance things out.
Yeah, new school and then as old school as you can go with Leo Nomalini. Love that. All right, let us know what starts you like to these drafts, but these squads are not yet complete. Part 1, though, in the books of the all-time 49ers draft. I love it. And make sure you're all subscribed on YouTube and everywhere you get your podcasts. And Croc and I back tomorrow right here. Locked On 49ers.
See you.
Can't believe it.